Slapping gums at each other. Any chance they get. The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo. One of the greatest knockouts you'll ever see.
It's time
for you to sit back, relax, and listen to a complete and fucking utter armchair expert give his completely and utterly useless opinions on the one hell of an amazing sport that is MMA.
Well, what a card we have just experienced, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. All that and more when I come back. UFC 281. What a card we've just witnessed. What a friggin' card, man. Of course, Dan Hooker got his win. He's now 22-12. Got the TKO in round 2 against a guy who looked like he just wanted to basically take him down the whole time. Frankie Edgar got knocked out, sadly. Retired on the loss. Dustin Poirier subbed Michael Chandler in one hell of a fight. Looks like it could possibly be another fight of the year for Chandler to have been involved in. Weili got her belt back. Thank Christ. Was hoping for her to win her belt back, and she has, and she's now become the queen of the straweight division, rightly so in my belief, once again. But we now have the most shocking fight of the whole card. We get to the middleweight title fight. We get to the 5th round. It's been 4 rounds of an interesting fight. It was an interesting fight, you know. It was mostly Izzy's way, but it was a more interesting fight than most other Izzy fights lately have been. But then we get into the 5th round. And with 2 minutes and 1 second to go, Alex Hands of Steel Periera kicks Izzy's leg, makes him go to the ground. I think he hurt his leg. He did something to his leg. I forget what happened, but Izzy came out and said later something happened. And then he got Izzy up against the fence and TKO'd him. And as a result of that, after 3 years of the reign of Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya, he won it at UFC 243 in Melbourne in 2019. And that reign ended and he lost it at UFC 281 at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Alex Periera is the new 185 division champion. Did not think I'd be saying that. Well, I had a feeling it could happen, but I thought it most likely would not happen. But it did happen. And honestly, I'm starting to regret not putting money on him. But it is what it is. It's always going to be those cards you don't do anything on, isn't it? But yeah, man, that was the most shocking result of the night. Don't know what to say, man. Izzy's not the champ anymore. I think he will get an immediate rematch, as much as he probably shouldn't. I do in a way agree with Strickland when he says that he by rights shouldn't. It should go to the next guy, which you would think would be Bobby Knuckles. And to be honest, Bobby Knuckles, that'd be an interesting fight between him and Periera, actually. That will happen at some stage, whether it be next or after if he beats Izzy again, who knows. But that will be an interesting fight, and it could either be Pereira's champ for a long time, or it could be Bobby Knuckles and Izzy 3. Who knows? But yeah, man, it was a great card overall, though. Like I said, Weili was co-main to Izzy again in another event that Izzy was the main event of, just like she was for UFC 248. And also, I forgot to mention too, in the prelims, Dominic Reyes was fighting on this card too, and also, like, Frankie Edgar got knocked out. You'd think he might have to be getting tapped on the shoulder as well soon, but yeah, man, what a night of fights UFC 281 was. This is probably going to be a short one. I just wanted to make a quick podcast to celebrate UFC 281, basically. And yeah, when we come back, I'll talk about at least one other thing, but possibly a few other things. All that and more when I come back. If you ever look at our social media, at MMA Quick Chat everywhere, you'll probably notice that a lot's happened that I haven't talked about on here. Certainly on this card, which I just discussed, but also UFC 280 that just went, which I really didn't discuss and should have in the last podcast, but yeah, a fair bit happened. Suga Sean O'Malley, of course, got the win over Petr Yan. Shockingly, a lot of people, myself included, thought he wouldn't. A lot of people thought he actually didn't win. I must admit, myself included, but then when I watched it back, I could see why he got it. But that card, of course, was capped off by Islam Makhachev, Khabib's protégé, beating Charles do Bronx Olivera for the 155 division title. And of course, calling out Alexander the Great Volkanovski for a fight at UFC 284 in Perth next February, which I've just found out today I'm probably not going to be able to go to, and I'm so sad about it. But anyway, such is life. It's still going to be a great card anyway. Going to be a stacked card. Obviously, also Robert Whittaker, Bobby Knuckles, is fighting on it as well. Fighting Paulo Costa on it. That's going to be a scrap. There's rumours also that Aljo might be fighting on it from Ariel Helwani, and say whatever you want about him, but he's rarely ever wrong about this stuff. Yeah, man, that's going to be a big card. I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that happened. I'd have to go back and look at all of it to recap here. I may do it in a future episode, but if you want to know what you missed out on during the time that I wasn't making podcasts, just go to our social media. You'll likely find it. But the other thing I'm, of course, looking forward to is UFC 282 next month, and the rematch of Glover and Jiří from that close fight at UFC 275 in Singapore. Oh boy, that was literally Glover's fight up until 30 seconds before the end of the round. He was 30 seconds away from defending his belt, and the belt, Jiří just took the belt, submitted him for the belt. I'm definitely looking forward to that rematch, though. That's going to be an interesting fight next month. And yeah, we're coming to the end of the year, guys. We're coming to the end of 2022. I know it's crazy. It's crazy. I did not think it's been this long. Honestly, it feels like yesterday to me that it was Christmas, and now we're coming around to this Christmas. It's so crazy. Last card of the year, obviously, will be UFC 282. Doesn't feel that long ago that, we were watching Izzy versus Whittaker. Izzy versus Whittaker 2. And then Izzy versus Cannonier, and now, obviously, Izzy's lost that belt that he was fighting for, which is a shame, especially seeing as I didn't get to see him win it, but I got to see him lose it, which sucks. But anyway, but yeah, man, what I just want to say before I sign off, what a year it has been for MMA. Of course, we didn't get the returns that we'd hoped for, Conor, John Jones, etc. But it's still been one hell of an interesting year, full of stacked cards. And if this year's anything to go by, just wait for next year, guys. And also, next month, or actually no, maybe January, we'll mark a year of MMA Quick Chat. 1 year I've been doing this podcast. Gee whiz, it's lasted longer than any of my other podcasts, so let's just give me a little round of applause before I sign off today. I'm actually recording this on the Saturday before it's the Saturday it's meant to go out, so wish me luck. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. It is now currently 1:34 a.m. and this podcast is going out at 6 a.m, so I've got to upload it. But I shall do a podcast probably later this month or start of next month before UFC 282 and have a look at that a bit deeper, as always. But yeah, till then, guys, catch you later.